Ready, set,
go!
go!
Hello and welcome to the Creative Chronicles podcast. I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Romy.
And this is your weekly entertainment and industry fix. Woo!
Yes.
Here we go, we're back. Feeling better, feeling healthier.
Yes.
Maybe. just a
Sort
little
of. If I'm coughing or I start to go really croaky, I've had...
bit. Lots of champagne.
Yeah. I was ill and then got ridiculously drunk on champagne, which has then come back.
Yeah, just brought the illness back, so here we go. We're all a bit husky, we're all a little bit in the deep tones of our voices.
That's it. It's like,
It's not Halloween anymore.
I know, and it should be, because it's croaky. If I cough up a lung, guys, you know.
Don't worry if I don't
fine.
react. We're just trying to keep the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome back. We did take a break ourselves. You won't have missed us, but it's good to be back.
I know, it's been like a month, but we schedule things so well that it was like, oh, when I am dying, it's okay, because we have enough content that I can die.
Yeah.
And not be
I can
here.
die. She's fine now.
Because, you know, I was a lovely phlegm goblin.
Oh no. Oh no. Anyway, shall we get to it?
What have you been watching?
Well, in the spirit of our themes, I've been watching, oh my god, I can't remember what it's called, but I've watched the Jimmy Savile.
Okay. Yes.
Oh my god, I've never been more
The BBC.
uncomfortable in my whole entire life.
Is it the BBC one?
Yes.
With Steve.
With Steve Coogan.
Props to him as an actor. I will say that straight away.
Yeah, I was watching it with my partner, and he was just like, I kind of had to remind myself to differentiate between Steve Coogan and Jimmy Savile, because he was so... Oh god, it was horrible. I mean, it was great, but also I think
the reality of it.
Oh, just the amount that was swept under the carpet, the amount that was just ignored.
Well, what I can't get over is I remember when it all came out.
Yeah,
because we were young, and my boyfriend's mum at the time was so defensive of him. She was like, everybody's lying. These people are jumping on the bandwagon. He never did, and was so defensive because she loved him. She actually loved Jimmy Savile and thought he was amazing, and the work he did was incredible. And then I remember going home and my mum and auntie being like, it's sad because of what he did for the North and how he put like the North on the map a little bit. He was like one of the first Northern TV presenters.
Yeah.
And then for him to do this, but they weren't surprised.
Yeah, a lot of people I spoke to said you either loved him but weren't surprised by it, or you were like, there were so many people I spoke to that were like, nope, would turn the telly off if he came on, couldn't stand him, got the worst vibe from him, didn't want him around, because obviously he'd pop up. I went to a school near Roundhay Park, and if you went to like a couple of the restaurants around there, you'd see him. Like there's a famous photo within our school's history of two girls, and he's like behind him, and it was like their birthday. They look really uncomfortable, and they always kind of pops up on Facebook every now and then, and it's awful.
Well, Fran, our mutual friend, she won't mind me saying this, and if she does, tough shit.
Hey, Fran.
Her mum and they all went out for like dinner to the Flying Pizza in Roundhay, and it was a mum's birthday, and he came over and was his cocky self.
No thanks.
And I think he either like tried to kiss her cheek or kiss her arm or something, and they were all just like,
leave.
Why would you do this? Why would you do it?
It's awful. And then when you watch this, obviously it's a dramatised version of like events that happened.
Yes.
You then find out that some like bloody Maggie asked him to look at Broadmoor.
Ugh.
And what's he going to do? Literally, like, he's just going to... Well, obviously we know what he did. But, why would you ask someone that had no experience in that, field to just go, oh, yeah, you need to go and, like, sort Broadmoor out?
No, it's just bad. The thing I didn't like about the series, which I will point out, is it's BBC.
Yes.
The BBC hid him for 54 years.
Yep.
They hid him in plain sight. And this documentary series, drama, made out like every single person was suspicious of him, including people at the BBC, whilst I do not believe that, and I feel like that is their sort of damage control. And I'm like, you know what, BBC, you need a full investigation into every single person that worked at that time, because you hid him. This documentary series is not going to get you out of the fact that you hired and hid and enabled a man to abuse children for 54 years.
It's horrendous.
And that's my only thing, is like, if everybody was this suspicious, he wouldn't have been able to do what he did.
That was my big issue. It was they were acting. Obviously, I know it's a lot of like actor's choice and whatever, but they were acting as if he was doing something really wrong, and maybe he shouldn't be doing the things he was asked to do, the roles and blah blah blah. And I think Steve Coogan played him a little bit remorseful as well.
Yes.
In certain scenes, especially the ones like when he was in the chapel and he went to go, and then he'd come back and he'd be like, and then he'd just sit. I don't think he was remorseful at all.
When you watch the Louis Theroux documentary,
horrible.
I think the reason why Jimmy was able to get away with so much is because he was so confident, he was so arrogant, and regardless of what you thought and felt, you were wrong.
Yeah.
He was so in your face, broad Yorkshire. Well, what do you mean? You're saying that, I'm not saying that, you're saying that. That's a load of rubbish, that. You're questioning me, why are you questioning me? You've got bad thoughts, you. You know, everything he'd have been a great politician, you know, he could have been able to bat all that back like they do.
Well, if Maggie had stayed in power, then maybe he probably would have got it, because she bloody loved him, didn't she?
She did.
Oh, but anyway, let's move on. Anyway, what have you been watching?
Brilliant. I mean, on that same thing, I did watch the Jack the Ripper, Yorkshire Ripper. Sorry, I am thinking about Jack the Ripper recently. Yeah. He's my fun fact.
All right, cool.
And then I watched, what's she called, Maxine.
Oh yes,
watched the Maxine one.
Lovely.
Which I didn't really rate.
I personally don't like it.
I don't know if it was the subject matter. Like it's interesting.
Yeah.
But I think, unfortunately, the story behind it's so sad that she isn't actually the most interesting character.
And I'm not sure of the actress's name, but I didn't really like her. And I think I only know Scott Reed, who played Ian Huntley, but he played him well. But then it
was all about her, and that's what bothered me. I was like, I get where you're coming from. So it's similar with the Ted Bundy film. Yeah. I've not seen it, but I did hear people's main problem was it was focused around her.
Right.
Opinion and her story and her point of view rather than the person that we all want to know about. And for me, Holly and Jessica thing was so big.
Oh my God.
It was
really
so
scary.
big when we were kids that I'm like, it kind of missed all of that and just focused on this very small
It made her the victim.
Yes.
And
she's not. I don't care. She's not.
She hid a murderer, like.
You're not a victim when you do that. You're genuinely not, and she got anonymity and then has got a new life somewhere and all this jazz. And I'm like,
which I had no idea about, because obviously it was all Ian Huntley. I completely forgot about her, and another one that I felt really uncomfortable about, but also I just don't think it was executed really well.
No, I don't think it was shot nice. It was very shot like Doctors, kitchen sink drama. So I was very much like, hang on a minute, who's filming behind this?
It was a bit bitty as well. Like one part, it was like, she went away, the murder happened, and I know, obviously, it's kind of the same as The Long Shadow. They didn't really concentrate on the murders. It was like the investigation and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But the girls got killed, she came back. I don't know, and then I blinked and something else had happened, and I was like, have I missed something?
I've had too many close-ups.
Yeah, and
it's like,
honestly,
let's
I didn't rate her.
Little pan to your face.
Yeah.
You don't need to pan to somebody's face all the time, okay? Let's see something else. Give me some drama instead of me waiting for the actor's face to do something.
Yes, exactly.
If you're panning to it, it should be doing something already. Not like, when we get to you, look sad. That's what it felt like. It felt very GCSE, A-level.
Love that.
Media, no offence, but offensive. Yeah,
love that.
I didn't.
We all know what that is. Everyone did it. So
everyone's been there, okay?
It's fine.
We're just shocked it made it onto Netflix.
Well, yeah. Was it Channel 5?
Oh yeah, probably.
I'm shouting that really loud.
Was it Channel 5? They're shit, aren't they? Channel 5. So we're not surprised.
I mean, production quality on some of the things.
I know.
All, some. Anyway.
So yeah, today, believe it or not, we're talking about true crime.
My favourite thing.
And we're going to go into some documentaries.
Yes.
So one thing I do for Ready Steady Cut, I'm a reviewer for there. I'm not AI. I am a real person, Romy Norton, who writes for Ready Steady Cut.
Yes.
I'm in charge of a couple of lists that we have on the website, and that is Best True Crime Documentaries on Netflix 2023.
Here we go.
And Best True Crime of all
time. Okay. Ooh, I'm excited to hear these.
I base this on Rotten Tomato scores, and I do it above 85%.
Okay.
So it's quite shocking when you look at some of them which haven't actually
watched.
made that list.
Right, okay.
And that's based on both professional critics and audience.
Right.
So, like, everyday people that go on and leave a review. It's based on both.
Okay.
So,
tell me.
I thought we will just go through a few.
Yeah.
Because there's 26 on my list.
Okay.
I tried to keep it under 30 because there's just so many, and I think this is a genre that's not gonna die anytime soon. But it's not.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, one of my morbid facts as well will cover this.
Yes. Okay. Is people's fascination.
Well, it's fascination, and it's also my fact, because I'm not reading it, is the FBI claim that there's between 20 and 50 serial killers active at a time in America.
Oh my god. Okay.
So
I'm really interested, but I don't want to meet one.
We're gonna have this genre forever.
Yeah, it's always unfortunately, it's always gonna happen because people are always gonna murder people. So
yeah, or stalk them, and
Happy
how it's
thoughts.
done. Happy times. But it covers everything. So one of the ones that has got, let me just double check. Yep. So I'll go for an 86%er.
Okay.
So not 85, and that is the MH370, the plane that disappeared. So that was the plane that the Malaysian plane.
Right.
That just completely vanished in 2014. I don't know if you remember it.
Kind of vaguely, yeah, but I didn't watch this.
Yeah, it's good. It's brilliant. I've not seen this one. 100% score is Who Killed Malcolm X.
No, I've not seen that either.
And then...
So many things I've not watched.
But this is it. This is why the list exists. Because it's like, if you want to watch the ones that are the top.
Mm-hmm.
Here's one at 94%, which I'm very confident everyone has watched, is The Staircase.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember The Staircase?
Oh, the owl did it. Bloody hell. Have you watched all of that? Because I had to stop watching it because it really annoyed me.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. I just don't like him.
I didn't like him, but we were so conflicted in our household because we sat, as all four of us, on a day and watched all of it. And then we were like, do you think he's innocent? I was 50-50. I was really sucked in.
I'm not sure. Like, some days I think, oh yeah, but it always pops up. The owl always pops up. And I always think, did he do it? Did he not?
He did. He definitely did.
I mean, did you see all the blood?
I know. I've not watched it again. Oh no, I have. Sins of Our Mother.
Right. I've not watched the documentary, but I've followed the podcast and I've followed the story. Like, my friend Kelly always messages me. She's like, have you seen this? Horrendous.
Yeah.
Absolutely horrendous.
100% again. 100%
Why would
score.
you do that to your children? Fucking
and this is why it's so interesting, is because you think these people actually exist.
Yeah.
These people commit these crimes.
Yeah, and she was like, oh, it's the end of the world and my children have demons inside of them. Oh, God, like, please. Okay, fine.
No, absolutely not. But that's what I watched. What did it, the Devil on Trial? Is that what it's called?
I really want to watch that.
Mate. So bizarre. But what killed me off the most was the fact that, so this person believes he's got the devil inside of him.
Yeah. Kills
a friend, and then goes to trial to say, it wasn't me, it was the devil inside me. It was taken to trial. Okay.
This is America, right?
America. Okay, this is what everyone said. My brother was like, so these are Americans. I was like, hang fire. Oh. The 2 cases in the world where people have gotten off for having a demon in them, for being possessed, were in the United Kingdom. One was for rape and one was for arson, and they were found not guilty by insanity of having
they have
a demon inside them, being possessed.
Great. Okay.
So it's a really good one to watch. I think it's very interesting concept, and for me, it's very much how it begins with a little boy and the mother. How I think she pushed it to then,
I need to
basically the little boy's brother-in-law, not married, getting the devil from him. Like, we'll just pass it on. Pass on the devil.
Who wants this next? Okay.
Yeah. That's not got a rating. I'll have to double check. I'll update my lists and make sure where that stands. Yes. I can imagine. One of my favourites is a 91% was Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey.
Which was that?
It was more about the fundamentalist church of the Latter-day Saints. And
that's all we'll say. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. But that's all you need.
Okay.
That's all you need, isn't it?
Cool.
So, I mean, the list goes on.
Yeah.
But
Okay, well, none of my favourite ones are on there.
What's your favourite one?
Well, do you have a favourite true crime?
What is your favourite?
Well, honestly...
Oh, Jimmy Savile's on there.
Jimmy Savile, bloody hell, Jimmy's
86,
there.
but everyone loves our Jim.
Well, my favourite, personally, could be a throw-up between The Night Stalker, because I thought it was done very well.
Yes.
But I think my favourite is I'll Be Gone in the Dark, but only because I listened to My Favourite Murder and the woman that wrote the book about the Golden State Killer, Michelle McNamara, who was married to Patton Oswalt, the actor. Yeah, and she died before they found out who he was. So I got really invested in it, and then she's written a book, and then they've done a documentary. Oh my God, it's so good, and I mean, if you can say talking about, it's an HBO. It's and it's so it's so intricate, and there's loads of an actor reading her diary and her writings and all this kind of stuff. But basically, the Golden State Killer was obviously captured through DNA, and it's just really exciting to hear that. But obviously, she didn't live. I think she had an aneurysm and she died in her sleep.
Oh wow!
Which is really, really sad. But she was just so fixated on finding out who the Golden State Killer was, and that story has always scared me, but really fascinated me at the same time. And obviously they thought he was called she penned the Golden State Killer, but obviously he was original Night Stalker, and then the Night Stalker was Richard Ramirez, and then he didn't know who was it was the Visalia ransacker at points, because he was just moving around, and he was a cop. So here we go. So he knew he knew certain ways of how to get into things, and he started off with assaults, he started off with burglaries and stuff, and then it obviously turned to murder, and
that whole progression, isn't it?
But obviously it was the whole progression of it's happening here, it's happening there, no one communicates, no one talks, no one shares information.
No.
And it took the DNA, well, I don't know if it was 23andMe or if it was the big database that they've got, but it was they went and picked up cigarette butts or something from his trash and picked it up, and then they got him, and then he's bloody on trial pretending to be this old frail man.
Oh, piss off.
And then he's there in his cell doing all these stretches and climbing up and doing all this stuff, and I'm just you are fit to stand trial, you killed all these people, go to hell.
But that's like me with Harvey Weinstein. You are fine. You do not have COVID.
Yeah.
Go face your convictions, you creep. Why they play this victim?
I'm old and I'm poorly and I'm like this.
I'm so unwell. I can't do this. Epstein was very similar as well. Got killed in your cell, mate.
Yeah, that's another thing to talk about. But yeah,
it's that not communicating.
It's frustrating. Yeah. So obviously watching the Long Shadow and the Yorkshire Ripper the documentary is really good. The Long Shadow I had problems with in general, just on an acting arts kind of basis, but it was really good to watch.
Yeah.
But the frustration that the police couldn't see past their egos or share information, the whole Yorkshire Ripper being captured or arrested 13 times. First time was with a hammer. And then he was arrested in Sheffield. And then Sheffield were "Oh, guess what? We've got this guy, and we think he could be." And they were "Oh, he's not from the northeast." And I was
"Oh, and his wife's giving him an alibi."
Yeah.
It's
oh God, again.
Great.
Oh,
no, the miscommunication, and I think
it could have been stopped a long time.
And we know that hindsight is a wonderful thing when you can go back and you can piece things together. But it's very much why can you not see that at the time? Do the police force need outside people to come in and get their shit together for them? Because sometimes, are you word blind? Are you investigation blind, where you're not seeing
And I understand
things?
Some of them are on older things, so they didn't have DNA, they didn't have the computer space, they didn't have the internet, they didn't have all these
sometimes it's
things.
even just the manpower.
Well, yeah, or women power.
The women power. Don't have the people power.
Yeah, people
power to the people.
But yeah, it's just frustrating to watch things. Obviously, I know, like you say, hindsight, this all happened years ago.
Yeah,
but it's still happening. People are
But it happens in every single documentary that you watch.
Yeah.
In every single documentary, there is a section about where the police failed.
Yeah.
And it's not just in England. It's not just in the whole United Kingdom and America. I've seen this in Spanish documentaries, French documentaries. They fail.
Yeah.
And I'm perfection 24/7 is not a thing. But you kind of hope it is when it comes to people's lives and it comes to finding the truth.
Yeah. And, like, believing people or actually following. I know, obviously, there's a lot of false reporting or there's a lot of, like...
Yes, and it's the paperwork behind it all. I know from family being in the police that sometimes it is this sheer amount of paperwork. Yeah. And I'm like, well, how do we get rid of that then so then you can focus on this kind of stuff?
Like, catching the people, the crime, solving it, like, how... I don't know.
Because there's so much. And that's the scary part of it. There is just so much out there.
Yeah, I know.
From, I don't know, like, when I've watched things like Kidnapped and seeing how many people go missing per day.
God, that's
it's
really
absolutely
scary.
Insane. And okay, so like one of my main things that we got when the government were like, "Hi, we're going to put this app on your phone, and it's going to buzz," and everyone was like freaking out. I was very much like, in the United States, if they have this similar thing, and if a kid goes missing,
right,
your phone will buzz with a picture of that kid.
Okay.
So I thought, right, are we gonna start doing that? Because you get people going missing, and I have to look at West Yorkshire Twitter.
Oh, to
find out things like this. Whilst if somebody went missing in West Yorkshire, oh hi Elizabeth, she's 17, she's gone missing. She last seen with her friends. Her thing comes up, her age, her whatever,
and her picture.
What if I saw her?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Cool. And then you can literally reply.
Oh,
but
I didn't know that.
We don't have that.
Ew.
So no, we got a buzz for what, flood warnings?
I get a text every time that it rains. Cause
like, shut up, government, you pillocks. Like, what was that about? Because for me, that is a fantastic use of technology that we're not using.
Yeah, like, instead of, obviously, I know, like, severe weather is important, but, like...
But you don't know fuck all about it. I couldn't even get to London a couple of weeks ago because of Storm Babbitt. Whatever it were bloody called.
Babbitt.
What is Babbitt?
I don't know.
Is that how you pronounce it? Because
I don't know.
When I read the other one, I was like, Storm Syrian, Kieran. What are we on? Domingo now, is it?
Domingo.
Storm Domingo.
Bloody hell,
so you've got lovely names for them, but
can't do anything about it. Ooh.
Nothing to be done.
Bloody hell. Oh, God.
Is it time for facts?
Yes, I think it's time for facts.
Oh, my God.
I don't know if they'll be fun, because it's true crime.
No, I was like, what can I do? So I was trying to be more informative with my facts. They're not like fun. They're more like, heh.
Okay.
So
we've got the same ones.
I've got a little bit thing for Jack the Ripper at the moment, because
I was like, for who?
Yeah.
We're talking about murderers, where I was like, I've got a thing.
I've got a thing for, well, everybody's got a thing for Ted Bundy, don't they?
Well, apparently they did.
Everybody does.
They didn't know it was him.
We all want a bit of Ted. But yeah, I was going back because his is still unsolved. That's the thing that still fascinates me, is when things are still unsolved.
Yeah, because no one knew.
1800 London, Jack the Ripper, no one's still got a clue.
Creepy.
They're trying to blame immigrants and say he was Polish. I'm like, how do you even know that, though? Give me the evidence.
Yeah.
So, Jack the Ripper cut the throats of his victims in such a specific way that he wouldn't get blood on his clothes.
I've heard that. That's very meticulous.
I'm like, this guy has to be a clean ass.
How did he know?
Doctor. How many times did he practice on animals or something to be this perfect? I do not know.
No, thank you.
My other one. Okay, so these are two
for one.
Really quick. So Ted Bundy actually worked for a suicide hotline.
Yeah, that's where he met Anne Rule.
Yeah. So you think you're calling people for help, and you just might get a serial killer.
Oh my God, imagine speaking to Ted Bundy.
Like, he helped me. He helped me. You'd be a bit conflicted.
No thanks.
And then my other one, which I just thought was a really fun fact for you all.
Okay.
You are 14% more likely to die on your birthday than any other day in the year.
Watch Happy Death Day. That's all I'm saying. Great movie. As if?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't really like my birthday anyway, so maybe that'll be one for the books.
100, my champagne, and I'll sit there and go, is it happening?
It's happening.
It's happening.
Oh, lordy lord. Okay. Well, my fact is a Ted Bundy fact as well, because everyone loves Ted Bundy.
We love Ted Bundy.
Okay, so Ted Bundy helped the investigation of the Green River Killer, who was also prominent around the time of Ted Bundy, because obviously I think he manipulated his way into so many investigations that he was just like, well, maybe I should do it this way and maybe I should do it that way, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, He made like a psych profile of the Green River Killer that was more accurate than the police's one. I don't think he knew who it was, but he made like the profile that you get of like, he's this kind of person, like this is what we think he does.
He criminal minds the shit out of it.
Mm-hmm. And we all know, obviously, like Ted Bundy's background, and obviously he was studying law and like forensics and things
smart
like that.
Guy, very
clever. But he was all like, this was also like a huge inspiration for the Silence of the Lambs, like or like the psych profile and all this kind of stuff. I would say the rest of this fact, but it's absolutely disgusting.
Do it.
So the crime scenes from the Green River Killer, Ted Bundy had access to them. And he used to masturbate. So then he got taken off the case, so that's really gross. So there you go. Mine was morbid and disgusting.
Dirty
boy Ted.
Dirty boy Ted.
Wash your hands, you dirty pig.
Yes. Wash your crime scene photos, police. Jesus.
Don't let another serial killer look at other serial killer stuff.
But it's mad that you would let a civilian do that, though. When you think about it, you would let a civilian.
Gift of the gab. That's why he got away with it for so long, because they thought he was normal.
So there you go. If you want to be a serial killer, paedophile, whatever, have the gift of the gab. And people don't question you. They let you get away with it.
Look as normal as possible. Do not be like Jimmy.
I'm about to say, look. No. They both had long hair.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Anyway, are we done?
Yes. So, more hot tips on how to get away with murder. Come back and talk to us next time.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, bye.